Hello, everyone. Welcome and happy Friday. Welcome back. It is Safi Russell here with SDR Consulting, Inc. Welcome to Business Basics Friday. Feel free to share where you're joining us from in the comments if you're here live. I'm in New York. Our guest is also in New York, and it is 55 degrees currently, hopefully getting to 63 today. So spring is almost sprung. So just to kind of introduce myself, first I'll start out introducing the session. It's been a little while here. So Business Basics Friday is a weekly session catered to providing valuable information to business owners. We have a variety of guest speakers that come in and help share information to educate you on the many areas of your business that you may need to manage. This is strictly educational, so this does not create any client relationship or constitute any legal advice. You can definitely set up a consultation if you're looking for that. As far as my background, I've been in the industry 20 years, and I'm a CPA and enrolled agent, and also have a master's in taxation. SDR Consulting, Inc. is a virtual firm based in New York, but we do have clients all over the US, and we mostly work with business owners, helping them with startup and cleanup services and all the fun stuff in between. So during the session today, if you do have questions, if you're here on Clubhouse, welcome. You can definitely put your comment or question in the Clubhouse back channel. If you're here on Facebook Live, then go ahead and post your questions in the comments and we will go over them at the end. So it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. We have Joacin of Melegrand and Co. And her topic is going to be experiential marketing and why is it important? So Q, the floor is all yours and thank you again.
Hi, everybody. Again, well, thank you, Safi. My name is Joacin. I am the founder of Melegrand and Co. So Melegrand is an experiential marketing agency. So what we basically do, for those who do not know what experiential marketing is, it is a form of marketing. So with marketing, you guys all know there's social media marketing, and then there's how you call it, digital marketing, there's regular marketing, there's event marketing, all those sorts. So because, well, experiential marketing has been around for a very long time, but now it's becoming a lot more popular due to COVID. That COVID happened and a lot of people now wanted to go outside, or they needed to find a way to keep their consumers interactive, because the first type of marketing that they had was more so on the, you have the events, everyone attend events like BeautyCon, Comic-Con, those are all forms of experiential marketing. That's why it's been here for a while. So now they needed to find a way to basically keep people interactive, but yet from home. So now experiential marketing has been tapped on the digital side for everybody to find a way to keep people entertained. So that's why you have the virtual events, and then you have the different activities that you can do. So just to tap back onto what experiential marketing is, it's basically marketing in an interactive form. So how can we get our consumers to interact with our brand and yet retain them as consumers or clients or whatever it is that you're offering? So with that being said, you have your BeautyCon, made a big event around beauty. So you have all of your beauty vendors that came in and gave out free products, had probably like a dartboard or had some Instagrammable interactiveness. So that is a way that you keep your clients entertained and keep them coming back, versus back in the days where you would just have billboards. I wouldn't say back in the days, because they're actually coming back to being popular now, but you would just have billboards, or you would just have a commercial on TV, or you would just have door-to-door salesmen. So those were the more popular way of marketing back in the days, but now Instagram is your biggest thing. So how can I create an Instagrammable experience, or something that I can get my clients to interact with and promote me on their social media, or promote me through pictures or whatever it is that they do, so I can get other eyes or new leads to come in and be able to purchase my product, use my service, or whatever it is. So that's what experiential marketing basically is. It's ways to basically get new consumers to interact with your product versus you're throwing postcards or, um, direct mail. That's what it is. Direct marketing. That's another form of marketing. Us just mailing letters to you or knocking on your door or just putting up billboards. How can I get my clients to interact with my brand? So the reason why this is very important, again, it goes back to COVID. Now, COVID being a thing that everybody was stuck in the house, nobody wanted to, we weren't allowed to go outside. Not that we didn't want to, we weren't allowed, and some of it we didn't want to. But how can I get my clients to keep my income flowing, basically? So it's important to do interactive marketing now, especially in 2022, where millennials and Gen Zers are becoming your main consumers. So with them becoming your main consumers, they are the generation of the internet. So we are also the generation, I am a millennial, we are also the generation of social media. So we want to be able to post these things on social media. We want to be able to go out and interact with brands. So especially with us being consumers, we're a lot more conscious in what we purchase, and we are a lot more conscious in what we sell. So what that entails is, back in the days, your mom, your dad's, they would just see a billboard, probably a friend recommended it to them, and then they would just go out and buy it because everybody else was doing it. Now with this generation, if there isn't a purpose, if there isn't a cause, if there isn't a reason why I should purchase this, I'm not gonna go do it. So that's why experiential marketing becomes so important, because it allows your consumers to play with the product, to interact with the product, to interact with the brand, see the purpose of the brand, and allow them to go through the funnel of marketing. So the awareness, of course, is definitely the social media aspect of it, creating there's two different forms of it. There's called activation and installations. So activations are things that they're actually being active with. So whether it's a LED screen and people are dancing in front of it, or something that is making the consumer active with your brand. And then there's installations. A perfect example I always give of that is like the Wall Street Bull, where they put that girl in front of the Wall Street Bull. That girl was an installation. She was a piece that they put there that allowed everybody to put their eyes onto the bull. It brought the bull to be popular again, if you really think about it. Other places that, if you've been in New York City, Times Square, they always have installations there where an artist comes out, they build something, and it's just a standing statue or a standing object that has to do with whatever brand. T-Mobile did that. They did an installation of having the X in the middle of Times Square for them to be able to bring brand awareness, basically bring brand awareness before the shop was even there. So there wasn't a T-Mobile store in Times Square, but what they did is that they bought an installation of an X kind of seating area. So it was a pink, if you guys remember, it was a pink X that everybody just sat on, took pictures with, but there wasn't a T-Mobile store there. So what that did, it brought brand awareness, and it brought conversion for everybody to start asking, hey, where's this T-Mobile store? I see it, I see the branding, and I see all of that, but where's the store? So now they have a T-Mobile store in the middle of Times Square because they were able to bring the notoriety from there. So that in itself shows how important experiential marketing is, because it allowed the consumers to interact with the brand, which made it a lot more fun, which made me as a millennial and a Gen Zer more interested in purchasing T-Mobile. And T-Mobile is actually really good for that, because they did a lot of different installations and activations throughout the New York City, and I believe throughout the United States, to be able to merge with Sprint and get all these new consumers. And now T-Mobile, who used to be the least like cellular company, is now right underneath Verizon. So they use experiential marketing a lot to be able to get their consumers to go through their funnel. So this is why, especially in this day and age where mom and dads are no longer becoming your proxy buyers. You now have yourself, you have your younger kids, the Gen Zers, they're the ones who are all getting jobs now, they're graduating out of college. So these are your proxy buyers. You have to entertain us. It's sad to say, but yeah, you have to entertain us to get us to want to work with you. It's no more just giving us a flyer and then walking away and allowing us to do the job. We're in a world of internet and cell phones, but with the cell phones, there's so much catching our attention. The job of an experiential marketer is to keep your attention focused on me. I think I basically explained it. If that made any sense, Safi, you let me know if I need to go more into details.
That was a lot in a few minutes, but I'll tell you, it was relatable. So many things you said I want to expand on, definitely. And
Yes.
I think this can apply in so many businesses, even jobs and careers,
Yes.
with what's going on with the pandemic, with the great resignation and all these things. I think this actually is the key to all of that. So I'm just sorry, I'm blown back a little bit, but because I'm learning too. It's my first time hearing about experiential marketing, but I get it. It's about the experience. And one thing that being in business that many people have found in all different industries is that your experience virtually is different than your experience in person. And it's like conveying that emotion and that experience, like you said, virtually. And
Yep.
depending on your industry, that may not be your forte, right? So for example, in accounting and tax, like, what am I really going to do, to make it fun? But I've been coming out of the box, right? We're doing this, right? We're having different guest speakers, and I've put a couple of dance videos out there. I love to dance, but never would have done it necessarily publicly like that. But you do what you have to do, and it shows people who you really are, and it shows them a little bit about your
Mm-hmm.
brand, and to think that it actually is a strategy, is pretty cool to hear about. So a little bit more about the generations, and depending on whatever industry you're in, if you're a business owner, many people do focus on social media, and they'll put out certain content. Now, I've seen that video content versus text content versus picture content has different results. Can you expand a little bit on that based on your experience?
Yes. So video content allows your consumers or your future consumers, your leads, to relate to you. It's like with the dancing. Um, that's great. I love to dance. That lets me know if I hire her as an accountant, we're going to be friends because it's not just going to be a business aspect. It's going to be more on the personal relationship. So the video allows me to see who you are as a real human being. Is no longer just a logo and then a bunch of words on a piece of paper. Text aspect, with the text, that I believe that it works best, especially with the way of hacking right now. A lot of people are not excited about the text, but the text you mostly want to use after you've gained them as a consumer. Then they look forward to getting those messages, especially the things that you want to update your consumers about that they may not go to your website right away. That text is perfect because they look at it, it's a quick stop. I look, I see what they're offering. Oh, great. If I want to tap in, then I just tap the link and I join it. What was the other one you said? Video, text, and
Photos.
photos. Photos is also another, it goes right back with the video. It's just more putting more human to the brand versus just it being a business. And I feel like a lot of brands nowadays are trying to be more humanized. And that is the best way you have to do it. That's why you have your owners and your founders are now being more vocal about what they're doing. It goes back with the teaching. Everybody wants to learn. We're in an era of internet where YouTube University literally teaches you everything. So if you can be that one aspect of that person that they'll keep coming back to you to learn, then they'll come back to you to use you because they'll know what you've been doing and what you do on a regular basis. So it's no surprise. It's not like you're taking my money and you're running with it. Now I know what you're doing as a human being. And then the photos lets me know, like, okay, she took a vacation this week. She deserved it. She worked really hard on my brand this week. So it puts the human to it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And
Mhm.
I've noticed that in the interaction, like for example, if I put a family shot out versus just a generic, what do they call those pictures that you grab on Canva or something like that,
Mhm.
that gets more attention than, the family shot gets more attention than the generic photo. So so I do, see that people want to know you, and it's understandable, especially, I mean, in this industry, you got to have a lot of trust built up, dealing with people's finances and so on, so I can understand they want to know they're not dealing with a robot, and who is actually touching my information. So
It
but
goes
it goes for
I was
every industry.
Well, I was gonna say, just to not to cut you off, but it goes with the word social media. Everyone keeps forgetting the social part of that aspect, and everyone keeps promoting, putting business, but social media is
Mm,
social. Show
mm.
me your socials. That's the point of social media. If anybody got that.
Great point. Great point. And it's so funny because, we network online, right? And you come across some people who they'll connect with you, but then they don't want to have a conversation. I'm like, well, why?
It
What,
defeats the
what,
purpose.
right. What are you here for? So I'm glad you
Hmm.
did, point that out. Just, go with email or something if you don't want to, converse. um,
Exactly.
so that makes sense. And it's funny because you mentioned about being at events, because things are starting to open up, as safely as can be. But if you are out there and you notice things like you're at this event, use this hashtag, take pictures and use this hashtag, because that's promoting the
Hmm.
experience of the people who are actually there. So even with like the hybrid, methods and things like that,
Hmm.
I can see where people are still using those different tools to, for future advantage, for not even just the people there, but like later on. So so that it lives on, you know.
Exactly that.
Yeah, perfect. Now, you mentioned about like purpose and cause and like this generation and what they're looking for. What are some examples of causes and purposes that companies can instill to attract that generation?
So what our generation is mostly looking for, we're looking for brands that are looking to help other people. We're getting out of the selfish kind of mindset and actually trying to branch out. And we as a generation, if you realize the Gen Zers and the millennials, we're hippies. We're going back to the 70s. They always say, I come from the fashion industry and fashion repeats itself, and so does everything else. So we're all going back into the hippie in this lifestyle where we want to see good. We want to save the planet. We want to save this because our planet is dying out. Things are dying out. And we're tired of watching the news. Every time we see the news, is something sad. If you realize our generation don't watch the news as much because we're just tired of seeing the same sadness going on in the world instead of solutions. So our brands and our generation is looking for brands that are trying to put back into the world. What is your purpose of your company besides just to sell hair product or just to do this? What's the purpose behind it? Why did you decide to start this? Let us know. So now we're part of your family and we understand. Now we would be able to feed back into it because I want to go to this hairstylist that saw a lot of Black women or women just losing their hair or whatever and decide to start a hairstyling company to help us be more natural or help us grow our hair back. So now I'm going to keep going back to her. Same thing with accounting. I'd like to be able to get what was your purpose of starting accounting? Maybe it was to, help a community in your community, a small little community, and then you decided to expand and help everybody else. So a lot of us just want to know why did you start this? Was this just to make your money or was this to do something else with it? And we want honesty. So if it's just to make money, then okay, fine. Let us know. This is just to make money. This was just a side, and I decided this is the way I'm going to make money. Okay, cool. We prefer you be honest than you try to sugarcoat it, and it really does not pertain to that. Because then what ends up happening is that you lose us because now we're trying to feed into you, but you're not telling us the truth, and we're a generation that we're internet tells us the truth. So if you don't tell us, somebody else will eventually.
That is the truth. Wow. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think transparency is key, is the key
Hmm.
across the board. And it's for the better anyway, right?
Yeah, of
But
course.
yeah, the sales has definitely taken different spins over time, versus just the cold calls and,
Hmm.
with the spam filters on the phone, I don't even know who gets through anymore, because I don't, I just scam likely up. Well, they'll leave a message
Yeah.
really important, so getting through to people those traditional ways is, you're not going to get, you're going to have to go through more numbers. So it's about like changing, pretty much changing
Yeah.
strategies, getting out of comfort zones, and following the trends because there's always a trend. And for companies to stay ahead, they have to stay with the trends.
That part. It's definitely the trends.
Yeah.
Definitely the
That
trends.
makes sense. All right, great. So if anyone has questions, go ahead and post them. If not, we're going to go ahead and just kind of chat a few more minutes and then wrap it up. But definitely, I could see, wherever you are in the world, that's the great thing about the virtual world as well. Being a virtual firm, we work with clients all over the U.S. And
Hmm.
there are still companies who are brick and mortar or maybe just focus on their local area, and you're kind of limiting yourself.
Yeah.
Being able to market across the world is a powerful feature, and I think we're in a world without borders, or however you want to say it. You know Different time zones, whatever you're selling, a service or a product, being able to open yourself up to do business 24 hours a day. There's so much potential, but I do think we need to focus on our strengths, build up some weaknesses, but we need to delegate some things, right? So, for
Hmm.
example, when you're just getting started, you're trying to do everything. You're trying to be the marketer. You're trying to do the accounting. You're trying to do the administrative work and the customer service. And after a while, you actually end up losing money because you're not focusing on building your brand and doing what you do best. You're focusing on all those other tasks. So, what what is your take on smaller companies who want to get started, in experiential marketing and maybe limited on budget? What are your suggestions for them?
Well, that was a good point because I too became that person and I was just becoming too overwhelmed. So
Mm.
it's that you got to focus on your strengths. You have to see what it is that you're good at, whatever company you're starting. Let's just say you're a soap company. You're good at putting the soaps together and you're good at doing that. Focus on that. So what that means is get a tripod, just hook your camera up as you're working. Just put those things together. And then you can hire a video editor, just send all of those out. Now, what's good about social media marketing, everything does not have to be put out right then and there. So you can do 30 videos in one day. And then
Mm,
every day you just edit your video sporadically. It does not have to all be footage taken right there. And then what that ends up helping with is that now your consumers are seeing you start from scratch and building up. They're learning about you, but they're also learning about the industry, which makes them more interested in purchasing your products and what it is that each soap does. So I always tell everyone, if you're starting out, it's all about, let's just try to put it towards yourself. Just leave it towards that. Let the ones who can handle their accounting and all of that good stuff handle that stuff. If financially, I know we don't all have it, but we all have a friend, a family, a cousin, somebody that you can just call, be like, hey, can I just get your quick opinion on something? Try to prep it up as much as you can, and then just allow them to review it. Now, don't allow them to do it all because then nobody's going to want to do it for you. But if you can start it and allow someone to review it, they'll be more inclined to help you, especially if you're putting up those small little videos about yourself, because that form is experiential marketing. Your consumers experiencing you through a form of marketing. So experiential marketing is not necessarily just having events or just doing big installations or anything. It's anything that you can create an experience for your consumer. So whatever little tiny thing, whether you're educating them, whether you're showing them how something's made, how you source your soap, how you source flowers, anything. While you're out there, we have our cameras in our hands 24/7. Literally one picture, save it in your phone while you're laying in bed or just watching TV. You see something that somebody else did, you're like, oh, I have a video like that. Oh, I can put something like that. And there goes your marketing right there for free. So it's all
mm,
about try to bulk up on all your stuff. You don't have to post them right away, but
mm,
have them just in case. So when you're
mm.
ready to post, you have already your content. You don't have to worry about sourcing content.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And one of the things I had to learn about, like, a social media and videos, and not having to be perfect and being yourself,
Hmm. The
because
more
this
natural, the better.
right. Right, because the slip ups, or is my makeup done, or is my hair in place? I see some videos, I'm like, okay,
Take
come as
yourself
you
out of the
are.
equation. Nope. Take yourself, just come as you are. The more authentic you are, the more consumers you'll get. because what they're gonna see, oh, okay, she's like me. And if you can tell everybody your truth, like, hey guys, I don't feel good today, but we gonna ride through this. Everybody's gonna jump on and be like, okay, girl, I hear you. Let's ride through it together. So it's just more being authentic, because the consumers now, us Gen Zers, they want authenticity. They don't care to be sold on. The mom and dad was being sold on, and mom and dad been trying to sell them, and they see mom and dad didn't do it the right way, so now they want to do it their own way. And our own way is be truthful. Tell me your truth. What's your truth?
Very interesting. Got it. Got it. Perfect. All right, Q. So I think that was very helpful. For me, it was. I'm sure for the audience, it will be, whether you're here live or whether you're watching this later or whether you're listening on the podcast. Definitely learn more about this. Definitely reach out to Q. We're going to actually close out and share our information so that you can get in touch. So if you joined us later in the session, just to recap, I'm Safie Russell, founder and CEO of SDR Consulting, Inc., a virtual firm here in New York. We work with clients all over, and we mostly work with business owners from the startup phase to cleanup. So that's business consulting, bookkeeping, accounting, tax prep planning, and tax resolution if you got into trouble or have back tax filings and such to deal with. So that's what we do. And Q, go ahead and share, your details and your information, how people can connect with you.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on everything. Email me info@melegrand.com. Is MELE Grand with a D at the end. .com. You can go on my Instagram. I don't have much pictures up yet because I had to archive and start all over. I want to come out with a different kind of branding. But you can find me on Instagram, Melegrand Co. So Melegrand with a CO. Or you can go on my website, melegrand.com, and everything's there. You guys can contact me. I'm here to answer any questions. I'm a real person.
We can see. Thank you. And thank you for, being transparent and honest and telling us what we need to hear. Not some people may not want to change, but change is good.
Change is good.
Change is good. Change is good. All right. So Q, thanks again for taking the time. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. And as far as SDR Consulting, you can find us on social media under that. And also by phone, we have 15-minute free intro calls just to get better acquainted. And then we can go from there with any services you need. And 516-255-6603 is the business line if you want to call in and schedule that. Or you can go on our site, sdrconsultinginc.com, and fill out a potential client intake form. All right. So everyone have a great weekend. Stay safe. Let's get out there and make some videos, some content, and wish everyone the best. And we will be back. So definitely every Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern, schedule permitting. I'll put out in advance if we have to miss a week, but we will be here every Friday with a guest speaker or myself, and spread the word, spread the podcast information. We definitely want to get the information out there to business owners because we know there's a lot out there and it could be confusing. So our goal is to kind of help provide clarity and answer questions during this time. This is the time for free. You can come get your questions answered. So definitely spread the word. All right, everyone, have a great day and take care.
Bye. Thank you.